tell everybody what you're going to play?
I'm going to play a study by a Spanish composer named Aguado, and it's an A minor, and it's just a real simple study, but just one I really enjoy playing and been working on for a little while.
Yeah.
So I'll probably play A twice and then the B and go back to A, something like that. Depends how I feel.
Good. Sounds good.
Okay. All set.
I'm ready. Your sound is really like big and full. Yeah, really kind of digging in. It's great. So, you know, at the beginning there were a couple of kind of mishits here and there. You know, so part of what we want to do is try to make the right hand really stable. You know, and just allow me one brief, you know, like kind of diversion here about the way I like to think of, especially the right hand. It applies to the left hand, but you know, we like to think of the right hand as being, you know, this mechanism that hits the strings, right? It's you know, its job is to move the strings somehow and make sound, right? Well, it's not just a moving device; it's a sensory organ. You know, in fact, our hand is one of the most sensitive sensory organs on our body. And there's, you know, the number of nerves that are assigned to our tactile awareness, you know, is really high compared to other parts of our body. So, you know, and you know, the ability to, you know, for people to read Braille, for instance, for us to sense temperature changes of, you know, like 1/10 of a degree, or, you know, and pressure, and you know, they're incredibly sensitive. And when we play, I think sometimes we kind of, it's like, imagine that, this is weird, that we have essentially eyes on the tips of our fingers, okay? I mean, they're not eyes, okay, because that's gross. But they're able to take in information. Like the tips of our fingers take in information. And sometimes when we play, instead of being like this, our eyes are squinting, and they're not bringing us information. And so you may be saying, well, Bill, what are you talking about? You know, well, what am I talking about? The sense of touch that we have of when, well, let's say when your thumb is resting gently on the 3rd string, like it's resting gently, and your index is resting gently on the 2nd string, and the middle is resting gently. And if you close your eyes, you can feel the string, like where is it touching? Where is it in relation? In fact, just do your thumb for right now. Let's just do your thumb. So relax your index and middle, and just feel where on the tip of your thumb is the 3rd string touching, and where is the nail in relation to it? And if you push it down just a little bit, can you feel that, like the skin on the tip of your thumb gets slightly pushed in by the string?
It's on the verge of breaking to the nail.
Right, and you can feel the indentation of it, right? And now, just for fun, reach to the 4th string, and can you feel even the difference? Like you can almost feel that, oh, there's winding there, or it's stiffer, you know. And then go to the 5th string, and oh, that's even thicker. It's got wider winding. and go to the second string. That's thinner. And where is it touching? So now go back to the third string, okay, and really feel, okay, this is the spot I like. This is my sweet spot. And sort of push in a little bit, and as you push in, feel the difference that it's making on the sense of your touch. And then when you want to play, just let your thumb go. Great. Now put it back down, and now touch your index finger to the second string, and feel, where are you touching? And where can you feel the string? Okay? And are you in exactly the spot you want to be?
A little too deep.
You're too deep. Yes, absolutely. You need to be a little closer to the nail. Just a little closer. Good. Keep moving. There you go. Right there. Now, and push in a little bit. Feel the flesh being moved by the string, and you can feel the pressure of the string against, okay? And then when you're happy with the way it feels, then play it. Okay, it wasn't quite so good, so maybe adjust your spot. Maybe the nail's getting in the way a little bit. There you go. There you go.
That's good.
That's good. Now try the middle finger. Stop before you play it. Okay, and now do me a favor. Get all three ready to go. Like you can feel all three of them, and all you're going to do is just this. The M is not quite feeling it. You don't have to go too deep. Your thumb sounds amazing. So stop, let's work on your M for a second. Because the tendency sometimes is for you to overshoot. And what he's sometimes doing is touching the string a little too far down. Did you used to play without nails?
Yes. I worked at a job I couldn't keep nails, so that's how I learned.
Right. And the thing is, if you learn without nails, then because the nail isn't there to present a ramp obstacle to the string, if you touch the string from closer to the tip, there's nothing, you don't get a note, you miss, you swing and miss, so you choke up on the bat. Why am I using a baseball analogy? Anyway, so if you play without nails, you tend to land farther down on the pad, so that you actually have like the bone of the tip of your finger supporting underneath the flesh. And playing without nails is fine, and it's great, but if you then transition to nails, you have to change your touch, change your sweet spot. See, your thumb is you adjusted perfectly, like to a nail. Like you're landing on the perfect spot for the thumb. Your fingers tend to overshoot. And yeah, and I mean, we can talk about nail shape, but let's just work on your just get that out of the way. Like your index, now you feel this spot? Feel this. Now the middle, watch, feel this. So you actually can get a pretty nice sound, but if you land here, it pulls out, see? Now I'm going to push your finger in, and I want you to feel the string. You feel that line?
Yes.
It's kind of right there.
Yeah. It's on the good side of my finger.
Right.
I'll show you why in a minute.
Okay. Now, can you do it by yourself? Very good.
Yeah, that's a nice little spot right there.
And it's ever so slightly diagonal. Slightly. When I say diagonal, hold on, let me get a visual aid here. When I touch the string, like I don't want the string to be exactly parallel to my nail. I want the string to be at a slight, I'm going to exaggerate it greatly, but I want the nail to be at a slight diagonal to my nail. If it's parallel, it tends to hook on the way out. And if it's slightly diagonal, then when my nail moves through, the string slides from the leading side of my nail. It slides across and releases kind of in the middle, right? Some people, actually will lift to exaggerate that, they'll lift, David Russell maybe is the greatest exponent of the diagonal guitarist, David Russell. Kind of like that. Everything's a triangle with him. Try not to mash the twiddles. So sorry. But Pepe plays with a totally neutral wrist, and his is completely flat, and his sound is great. It's not that this makes you a better player. Some people say if you lift this too much, it causes a little tension in your arm. But the point is that doesn't matter. What matters is that this line of contact that you're feeling of the string touching your fingertip, it's like before you pluck, you have to feel that. You have to take a moment and feel it. And almost memorize, okay, there's this line of neuroreceptors on my fingertip. And if you touch the right ones, it sends off all these signals of, this is going to sound good. And if you touch in the wrong place, no. And mine's pretty sensitive now, because I've been thinking about it for a while. If I'm off by like a half a millimeter, my brain's going, no, not good, no, good. Okay. And you guys couldn't even see it, because it's too subtle. But I bet you could hear it. Like, this is my not so good, and this is my better. And so what I did, I spent a lot of time with this sort of cause and effect thing. This is the feeling, and this is the sound that I get. Feeling, sound. And then I said, okay, if it feels like this, I get this sound. Feeling, sound. Do it over and over and over again. Then eventually you say, I want this sound, and your fingers do it. But so what I want you to do is take your time and try. It looks great right now. Now just do this. Very good. Great.
Sweet spot.
Very nice. Now we're going to do this. So your index finger has less time to like feel it and touch, so it has to go and it has to quickly go back, feel it, and then play, like in a faster way. Do it again. But what I want you to, in fact,
on the second shot.
Yeah, in fact, slow it down. Do this. Watch. And just stop and take a moment to feel it before you play it. Right. Not so good. Better. Good. Now do this. Very good. Good. Now do this. Very good. Very good. Okay, so actually, you know what? Slowly play the piece now. Slowly. But take it slow enough so you can feel it. Nice and slow.
Eyeballs on the fingers.
Eyeballs on the fingers. Right. No squinting. No squinting allowed. Too fast.
Slow.
Yep. You did unbelievably well. At the very end, your index finger went. Right? So now what this brings up is a sort of controversial idea in guitar technique, and because there's people who are on the school of what we call planting or preparation, and then there's the school. Basically, there's strikers and pluckers, okay, and some people say, well, wait a minute, if you always stop on the string to have that moment of feeling it, if you always stop, then you'll never play legato, because you'll always have to touch the string and go down on it. And it won't be continuous. And then others say, no, you have to practice being on the string and feeling it before you play. And I studied with Pepe Romero, and he very clearly is on the planting preparation side. And part of his point, which I think is true, is let's say you don't want to prepare, like you want to just go from the air and strike the string. Well, at some point, your finger has to touch the string, right? Because it's really hard to play it without touching it. You know? And the thing is, I would prefer to control that moment when I'm touching the string and not leave it up to sort of chance. And you know, I'll use one final analogy about this. The analogy there is it's sort of like doing archery. Like, so, you know, let's say you've got a bow and arrow. You've got a very tight string, which is like kind of like our guitar string, okay? You hold the bow, and you take the arrow, and you have two ways of shooting the arrow to your target. One is you hold the arrow and you kind of go, "Gah!" And you sort of hope that it just lands in the notch just right, and you pull it just the right amount, and you let it go just right, it hits the target. And the other is to like carefully put it in the notch, pull it back exactly as much as you want it, and then let it go. And you practice, oh, if I pull this much, it goes that far, if I aim it that way. You practice letting it go after you've moved it. And sort of this moment of, you know, where you touch it and you move it, it's exactly a corollary to touching and pushing, and then playing the note is exactly like shooting the arrow.
Because perfect clean archery release is the same as breaking the string correctly.
Breaking a string, yeah, well,
The break of your hand.
Exactly, yes.
The break of the arrow and the string dynamics coming off your fingers is called a break.
Yeah, oh, that's good, I never
Yeah, I do archery.
5
Yeah.
minutes?
You do archery. Okay.
It's a total surprise.
Okay, so
There's no idea letting it go, you have no idea it's going.
right, exactly. It's exactly the same, because you can't take it back, right? You can't take the arrow back, you can't take the note back. In fact, the note, oh, I have to do this as Pepe. The note is the arrow. And if you aim it at their heart, it's like Cupid.